Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. We've got another video for you today on this Porsche 912. As you can see, it's all stripped down again. It's in the booth. It's already got some colour on it. And yeah, Chris will be painting the inside today. So yeah, check it out. Okay, so Chris has been busy blocking the whole shell. Just refining a few areas, and he's done all of the filler work on the dash as well. Now that's all smoothed out. So the shell is now ready for second prime, but before we do that, we want to take all the suspension and running gear off. We'll take the engine out. We've got a couple of bits of welding to do in here, so some holes to weld up and make that all look pretty. And then we can start thinking about cracking on with some paint work. So Chris and Gareth helped me strip down the Porsche 912 just so we can get it done that little bit quicker. We start by dropping the engine and then move on to the rear suspension. Chris is removing both oil coolers and oil lines here, whilst me and Gareth focus on the rear trailing arms and spring plates. Here I'm just fitting a riv nut into the bulkhead for the fuel line, and then I need to fit 2 riv nuts for the coil mount as well. We're going to need the table to drop the front subframe onto, so I decided to remove the transmission and mount the engine onto the engine stand. This will also make it easier to work on the engine later, because we'll need to strip this down and paint all of the parts and clean the engine block itself to make it all look nice. Right, onto the front suspension. We start by undoing the top mounts and then undoing the steering column, and once the car's lifted up, I can get things like the fuel pump system out of the way, and then we can drop that front subframe down. Okay, so our friend Jason, who's an automotive fabricator, has knocked this up for us. This is a breather tube, so it will vent to the rocker covers each side, and this one will vent back to the crankcase, and then on the end we'll have a couple of just little air filters. There wasn't a breather tube available on the market that really suited what I wanted it to do, so yeah, I contacted Jason. He was more than happy to knock this up for us. If anyone is interested in having one of these or something similar made, drop us an email or just drop us a message in the comments, and we can get back to you. We can get most things made. So yeah, let's offer this up and see how it looks. Okay, so I've just popped a couple of riv nuts in the parcel shelf, and that bolts in nicely. We've made sure it's central. So yeah, as I mentioned, this will drop down and vent from this rocker cover. This one will drop down and vent from this rocker cover. This will vent back, or vent from, I should say, the crankcase, which is in the middle. And then yeah, we've got 2 air filters for the end. So yeah, really pleased with how that's come out. Okay, back onto prep work. Chris is spending some time doing some filler work in the engine bay to make that look really nice and pucker, ready for when he paints it. And he's also gone around the shell and just refined a few areas that we weren't really happy with. Okay, so Chris has now refined all of those little areas that I was talking about, and he's also blocked down that first prime just to refine everything, make sure it's all nice and flat and exactly how we want it. The whole shell will now be blown off with the airline, all of that dust hoovered out, blown off, and then it will go into the booth for a second prime. And there we go, that is the shell now in second prime. So this is exactly how the car will look once it's painted, just a different colour. And how good does this dash look with all the holes welded up and smoothed out? Okay, so Chris has been doing a bit of filler work on this inner wheel arch, just where all the joins were. So these were all new panels. And now he's enjoying prepping the inside of the wheel arches. This is the bit of the job that everyone hates. It's no fun at all, but it is part and parcel of the job. Isn't it, Chris?
Yeah, everyone hates it.
Okay, so I thought I'd show you the underside. Normally we put the shell on a rollover jig, which makes this job much easier. But we don't do a lot of 912s, and the mounting points are different to a 911. So I didn't fancy making brackets just for this car. If we do another one in future, maybe I will make a set. But yeah, Chris has been busy prepping all under here, making it all look nice. And he's now going around sealing all of the seams, making sure they're going to be nice and watertight. And then we are going to use a product called U-Pile Raptor and give it all a good coat of that. So that's the underside all coated in Raptor now. We used the tintable type of Raptor that we could put crayon paint into. So that now is just going to be a matte finished version of what the outside looks. We also put it through a spray gun with a 2mm tip, just because we wanted it to go on nice and smooth and not use a stone chip gun for a stippled finish. So yeah, really pleased with how that's come out, and it can now go into the booth to have all of the inner arches done. Okay, so it's now all demasked. Chris has finished painting the Raptor on. As you can see, it's been tinted in crayon. It's looking really smart. I'm really pleased with how this has come out, particularly considering how much metalwork has been done. You can't really tell. I'm really pleased with it. So yeah, the inside's all prepped and sealed up, ready to go. The dash needs a little bit more prep work. But yeah, it's looking good. And the engine bay is all prepped as well. So that'll be getting a nice coat. What we've done is that we will be painting the body in base coat and clear. Just because it's easier to repair if it ever gets damaged. And I think you can get a better finish with it. But all of the inside and the engine bay and under the bonnet as well, all of this area, that's going to be painted in 2K direct gloss, and we've had that matched to the base coat that we'll be using, so there won't be any difference in colour, but it's just easier to do direct gloss in all these areas, and then yeah, base coat and lacquer on the outside. Right, time to mask it all up to paint the inside and the engine bay. The petrol tank area from factory normally has a coat of spray sealer, and in this instance we've used Raptor, having sealed the seams already. I think this will look a bit smarter than factory. The inside, under the trunk and in the engine bay have now been sealed with epoxy, and Chris can now lay down the crayon 2K. Well, there we go. Chris has absolutely smashed that. Really pleased with it. That is a massive leap forward for this car. When I think back to what it looked like when it came back from Blasters, and the whole of this side of the car was 2 inches too far forward. You know, we're not talking 10 mil, 2 inches. And then we removed probably 80% of the metalwork that side, and now to have it in paint, absolutely chuffed. So I'm going to finish the video there. You guys will have to check back in a couple of weeks to see the outside all painted. We've got a couple of nice little touches we're going to do on the outside as well, so it'll be well worth checking back. So yeah, please remember, if you've enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe, share it with your friends too, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.